approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the change of switching 2A and 2B.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Approve and disapprove previous minutes from November 17th, 2025 and December 15th.
The meeting minutes from November 17th and December 15th. Need a motion.
Are they on?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
Yes. Yeah.
All in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Now we've got 2A, which is the teacher report from Jackie McCall.
Hey, so when I met with Kimberly deciding what to give you guys, y'all seen, not everybody, but y'all seen curriculum, y'all seen a lot of that stuff. It's pretty boring, but if you ever want that, please let me know. Y'all are welcome in my room. Anytime, or anytime you just want to come and watch what we do and see what happens and visit in the day, y'all are welcome anytime in my classroom, just so you know. But we decided that it would be fun to do a day in the life of a pre-K student at Red River Valley Charters. So I will just practice. When Miss Zoe comes to the cafeteria and calls my class, I know it's time to start my school day. I stand up, stay with my class, and walk quietly down the hallway. In the hallway, I practice following directions and listening. When I walk into my classroom and see Miss M or Miss McCullum, I know I'm in the right place. This is my classroom. I hang up my backpack, I put my things in my cubby, and I get ready for the day. We notice letters around the room and count as we move through our routine. In the morning, I answer question of the day, and I do my morning work. We listen for sounds and words, clap syllables, notice rhyming words, and talk about what our day will look like. After washing my hands, I eat breakfast in the classroom with my friends. I practice using good manners, taking turns, and cleaning up after myself. Next, I get to choose where I want to learn and play. I build, create art, explore science, write, play, pretend. Mrs. M and Miss Zoe help me learn in small groups while we count, name letters, listen for beginning sounds, and practice working together. When it is time to clean up, I help put my materials away. We follow directions, count materials, and move safely. Then I play outside or inside, depending on the weather. During circle time, we sing songs, talk about the days of the week and the weather, listen to stories, and play learning games. We practice rhyming, counting, listening for sounds, and talking about feelings and choices. Before lunch, I wash my hands, I eat in the classroom, and practice cleaning up my space and following routine. After lunch, I practice putting on my coat and, if needed, my snow gear, depending on what the playground looks like. I try my best and practice being independent. In the afternoon, we learn together again. I listen to stories, practice letters and sounds, clap syllables, and work in small groups. After snack, I get ready to rest. I lay on my cot and listen to quiet music or an audio story. Rest time helps my body and brain feel calm. When rest time is over, I wake up, clean up my space, and choose a quiet activity. I follow directions and make thoughtful choices. At the end of the day, we sit together for closing circle. We talk about our day, what we learned, and how we are feeling. When it's time to go home, I pack up my things. I feel proud of my learning, my independence, and my hard work, and I'm excited to come back. So that's kind of from the child perspective. So I'm just going to read a little statement about how that works in our room. The daily schedule reflects a developmentally appropriate play-based pre-K program designed to intentionally support kindergarten readiness while honoring the developmental needs of our youngest learners. Learning is embedded throughout the entire school day, including routines, transitions, and play, rather than being limited to isolated instructional blocks. Early literacy critical for kindergarten success, such as letter recognition, phonological awareness, which is like rhyming, syllable counting, segmenting words, sound identification, sound isolation, isolating ending sounds, beginning sounds, a whole gamut of things. Listening comprehension and early writing behaviors are intentionally reinforced across the early numeracy skills, including counting, one-to-one correspondence, and number awareness, are practiced in meaningful real-world context. Social emotional development and self-regulation are emphasized to ensure students are prepared for the expectations of kindergarten classrooms. Through consistent routines and guided practice, students build skills in listening, following multi-step directions, problem solving, emotional awareness, and appropriate peer interactions. Students also develop independence and self-help skills essential for kindergarten readiness, such as managing their own personal belongings, transitioning between activities, dressing for outdoor play, zipping gloves, pulling your pants over your boots, all those little things, and participating in group learning settings. This balanced approach ensures students enter kindergarten confident, capable, and ready to engage in academic learning. This program aligns with the best practices in early education by providing predictable structure, intentional instruction, and supportive relationships, resulting in a strong foundation for long-term academic and social success. And my main goal is, that they love school and are ready to go to kindergarten. I know it was short and sweet. I don't know what to present when I come to this. I know, I'm like, thanks, Kimberly. That was really. Had 10, but we lost one. And but we actually have one student that made, we have a potential.
Another one? Yeah, because we lost one. We have another one.
So we have one that is interested in visiting the classroom. Didn't get in. She stayed. They're still in forest school right now, and so she's like very that in her routine and very happy there. But yeah,
in like kind of roots and wings area. But the mom is she was the teacher over here. Yeah, cool. She's a
yeah.
neat.
And I mean, so we had those conversations about like, if you leaving your program to come into pre-K be difficult, it would be an adjustment for her. It would be an adjustment for our class. But understanding what our school is like before kindergarten older would also be a very, important kind of maybe thing to not just push her in next year. So we'll see what she.
So she was here and then she left?
No, she didn't get in. She was on the
Oh,
list.
so no, I was wondering where you had 10, you lost one.
Oh, that was the
They
can I
went.
say
They,
names?
they went out of state.
Okay.
They're moving out of state. They're moving because it's a big family.
Okay.
So so I might get one more. I know we'll see how that goes. They were supposed to visit.
And for that one that Jackie's like wanting to bring in and show the school, that's great. But the way that the state is set up, kindergarten's a lottery too. So if you don't have the seats, then we're still pulling a lottery. And we have 8 that are siblings or teacher kids. And so we'll only have, if we end up capping that class, we'll only have, and we'll have 3 kids that want it. So there's 3, like if for the lottery next year, it's April 7th, 8 of those slots are already going to be filled with teacher kids or siblings. And so they get pulled first. And then whatever seats are left, that wait list, then you pull from those. So we'll put that on the agenda as it comes closer. We're thinking of cap of 10 because there are some,
Yep. Great. Thanks, Jackie. Okay.
Thank you. Well done. All right. Well, that was hard. You guys are a tough crowd.
drive safe.
I will.
Okay, now
All right, well, you have my report. The highlights are that we did lose some students, but we also gained some students today. So we have some new kiddos. We have our first stakeholder meeting for the build coming up on February 4th at 5. The lottery will open for putting in your applications February 2nd, and it'll go all the way to March 31st. And in that time, right before spring break, we'll ask for intent to return forms from our kids that are in seats currently, just so we know how many to pull. Sure. Always has been that way, but we've never had to pull it because we've had enough seats. And so this will be probably one of the first times in, I don't even know if Karen had to pull a lottery.
So,
So
we gonna let families in the community know that there's gonna be a kindergarten.
So we've already been making pre-K parents aware
Okay.
that this isn't something that's just a guarantee. I do know that there are several charter leaders who are trying to get legislators behind them to go, no, you can have a, if you're in
If you're in
pre-K,
you go.
then you go. It's like you're a return student. But because the programs are separate, it's funded differently, and so therefore they do the lottery.
So the two families in pre-K that are gonna be on the lottery are very aware.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
And how many kids right now have signed up to add to the lottery?
None. The lottery will open up on the 2nd in February. And so we'll put it out there to say anyone who's interested. And then we have a Northern Alliance Charter School Fair at Baton Hall in Taos on March 7th to Saturday. Hoping we're going to just do it this first time. We don't normally pull from that far, right? But we do pull from Angel Fire and Eagle Nest. And so we're hoping, let's just see. Wanted to test it, but instead of just saying no, see if we can get some students out of it.
Is there any, is it just like you put it in a, like you put names in a hat kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there any, like outlines on a student's behavior in pre-K that would, or it's totally random? Okay,
It's random.
okay.
Yep. Good question.
It's totally random. And this lottery, so you're saying the lottery extends to all of our surrounding communities, right?
Yeah, anyone who would put it in.
There's
Will we add 2 slots?
Possibly
three.
3. If the little one that she was talking about, then if she's interested in coming for kindergarten, then that makes it 3.
Is there any, like if you live in Red River, you get
No, there's not. And I know that's something that we've always been upset about, but because we're a public charter school, it's just, you have to do the same rules as the other. Yeah.
It's charter rather than district, but like
Mhm.
Eagle Nest is district and they don't open theirs up unless there's space to out of district people.
Will we be able to do the lottery at a board meeting?
We could, if we've never done it that way before, but I don't see why not. I mean, that's fine, if that's how you want to do it.
No.
Well, it will be on us. I have it here. I printed it out. Yeah.
Will we fly for parents? Just,
No, they contact.
Yeah.
They contact Tanya
April
will reach
7th.
out to each family that gets drawn and say, and then they have 10 days to come back and say yes or no
to accept it.
to accept it. If they say no, then they pull the next
Okay.
person and they pull, they just keep
I'm just
pulling.
thinking like.
And
I'm not trying to be
logistically, it's
annoying.
crazy.
I'm just thinking of like parent questions.
Yeah, no.
What is it on a lottery, like on the computer?
We've always done this, but I mean, I could do a wheel. I mean, it's easy to do, to set it up. Yeah, those are good. Next highlight would be our mission specific goals and our ed plan. I have been working with Sam and with Missy over at the PEC, and we're making a couple of changes. We're taking out, always in our model has been multi-age, multi-grade classrooms, and we have that, and that's great. But if we ever were to get to the point where we didn't have to do that, but then we don't want it to say that. If I had two third grade teachers, then I don't want it to say that we're multi-grade, multi-age. We're taking out the wording of weekly tutoring sessions. Right now, we do offer Wednesdays. You know, they can stay late once a month. Teachers are constantly pulling kids. We've got lots of support right now. So we're taking that out. And then 5 parent community events. We typically hit that, but Missy said, why put it in there if you just, that's just a number that you're going to have to then make sure you hit every year. So that was through her suggestion. We're going to get rid of the HAL, habits of work and learning. If approved by the PEC, we found that it's just not appropriate for the younger grade levels. A kindergartner self-assess their respect and their perseverance, and it just wasn't age appropriate. And so we switched that out, and we're just going to keep with our social and emotional learning, and then do reflections, keep a writing goal that is either reflecting on what they're learning in social and emotional classes or service learning. And so that's the big changes for moving forward. The rest of it looks pretty much the same. And that's it.
Any word on the lease or
We,
lesson?
yeah, we missed they switched it, and I forgot that they switched it from Wednesdays at the third Wednesday of the month to every other Tuesday, starting the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday. And so we were on the agenda for the 1st Tuesday in January, and they retracted the lease that they signed, but we didn't. And so we're back on the regular lease that we had in place until 2026, June 30. And then next week on Tuesday, we're on the agenda to approve the lease that they've presented, which I went through it side by side. And the big differences are they took the $5,000, you got to go before the board for about to 20,000, which is the CPO. That's what you guys have for me. So they took that, and only other thing they did was, just make it a 2-year instead of a 5-year.
As we work out the land. Okay,
As we work out the land.
but are they still like, is it still holding on what they said at that meeting? That we were all there?
Maybe, maybe not. They're getting clarification on if it's legal.
What?
The credit,
The credit for 5 years.
Oh,
no one, it's the legalities. So there were,
Is that going, oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
go
Courtney.
ahead.
Is that going to interfere? Is that going to cause us problems with our charter? Does that go to the end of our charter?
No, the charter, the Public Education Commission knows that we are in the process of trying to purchase, and so they are allowing the 2-year lease.
Oh, good. Okay. So they're really intending to do this, I guess. Okay.
Not, okay.
no, it's just,
Been like.
Yeah. no, it's just if the credit is even legal. It's
Yeah, okay.
just fair and valid thing to probably find out.
Courtney, Juan was the one that brought up the credit in the first place. So just having him kind of on our side was huge. So
Right.
'cause
That's
we've
good to
always-
hear. I look forward to that day.
Okay, anything else? Really? I don't think there's any public comment. And then we've got 4A, discussion and potential action to vote to accept the monthly financial statements. Is that
Yes.
present?
So, you guys have all this in your packets, should have had a chance to review it. Katie and I went over everything today. We are still in a really good position. We did add some, there was some revenue added in the Ed Fellows and SDA updated. Ed Fellows, we generally never spend it all down because it's a salary for, it's basically for the salary, but for, looks like we'll have a good ending balance. There, had to keep things around, just bonus tracking. We maybe are getting close to the process of being completely transferred from Newsenda. We should know soon. And yeah, we got the updated bank reconciliations. They were in there. That was really where we stand. Everything is in good shape. We should be on track. We might have a little extra money to spend. That's where we are.
That's always good.
Yep.
I will make a motion to approve the financials for January 2026.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
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 Slight
There's a lag.
discussion and potential action to vote to accept the bars. And I believe we have 2 bars tonight. We have
Yes, we have 2 bars.
06I and 07I.
The 06I is from the Go Bonds library funding. So that we have now, so that's increased our budget a bit. It's not a huge one. And then 7I is our lease assistance. That's essentially a pass through, but we've received that money now, so we can. Once we approve that, we can pay the lease assistance out.
Motions, so I will make a motion to approve the bars. You said 6I and 7I?
Yes.
Yep.
I'll second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 Aye.
Discussion and potential action to vote to accept Cook contract for the remainder of the 25-26 school year.
So this is just the switch over from an hourly rate to a salary so that she can, just get a steady income throughout the school year instead of the holidays off and all of that. So, yeah,
That's great.
that's
Yeah,
all that
I
is.
did read that,
She's great.
Mhm.
So yeah,
especially now with all the allergies and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
like, don't worry, Mom. Miss Nana's got me. It's like,
She does. She does.
I'll make a motion.
Is she? Oh, I was just gonna ask, is she gonna miss out on overtime, or is she working like way more than 40 hours a
No.
week?
No.
We did-
Okay.
We took her what she's made in the past years and we took an average and then
Right.
we actually ramped it up a little bit. So she's making, even with overtime, like with the salary, she's making more than she has in the past.
great.
Okay. I would make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Aye.
Then we've got discussion and potential action to vote to accept the annual compliance requirements in the performance framework, 3C compliance checklist and organizational framework as follows.
And I'm going to turn that over to Sam. Sam.
All right, y'all. Do you need me for anything else?
I think we're good, Katie.
Thanks,
All
Kate.
right. All right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Adios.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Sam.
No, do you need me to share screen or does everyone have the documents?
They should have them.
Okay, well then that makes this very easy. So this is coming from the PEC, and essentially they are asking that boards review the performance framework. I will point to I lied. 3 areas that are really of note for you. So the first is going to be 1A2. That is now the option that your school is choosing in terms of how your academics will be evaluated in this contract term. And so that means that you are essentially choosing to use your interim assessment, your iStation, or I guess it's Amira now, Amira and iReady, and that is going to be the metric or the assessment provider. Those results are what you're going to be evaluated on. And it's so with NM Vistas for your NAMASA data, because you're a K through 8 school, that's evaluating your grades 3 through 8, and it's based purely on proficiency. This is now where you will have the option to have kids contest proficient on either iStation or iReady. They can meet their growth target, or they can show the equivalent of 1 year's growth. And so your school has opted into K through 8, so it's a larger testing pool and more options for kids to show the growth that they're making. Does anyone have any questions on that piece? Okay. And so just to be clear, this doesn't feed into your vistas in any way. This is purely in terms of how you're being evaluated by your authorizer, the PEC. So the next piece, oh, sorry, yes.
Beforehand, we've been 3 through 8, and now we're K through 8.
Now you're K through 8. That's exactly right. You've always tested, I think, and Kimberly, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you have always tested K through 8. It's just in terms of which assessments were feeding into your Vistas data. That's that the summative assessments are for 3 through 8. And now you're going to be evaluated on grades K through 8, not through NAMASA, but through iStation, or I'm sorry, Amira for reading and iReady for math. Any other questions on that? So the next piece that I want to highlight, and this is actually this is what leads to the assurance, is the 3C annual compliance document. And so this is, to be perfectly candid, it is stuff that your school already does. The CSD is now just making you privy to the things that when they come into your building annually, that is what they're going to be looking at in terms of your like legal and annual, like your compliance with the state. That has to do with your, whether or not you're reporting NOVA timely, whether or not you're complying with all the acts, I'll say, whether or not you are, submitting all your plans, the literacy plan, the DASH plan. There used to be different indicators for all this stuff, and now they've created essentially a catch-all. Are you submitting what is required of you timely? Not much on this 3C indicator will change once you are, because this is for 25-26 technically. Your contract will start 26-27. The only things that'll change are really things that come out of the legislature this year. Everything else will remain the same. So like, let's say there's a policy that the legislature, last year it was like water safety and something like that. If there's something similar that comes through this year, then that assurance document, or I'm sorry, not the assurance document, the checklist will be updated, and then you'll be responsible for those pieces. And by you, I mean the school. Are there any questions on this piece? Again, this is stuff that the school already does. It's nothing new. It's just they're now saying we are going to be paying attention to these pieces.
I have a question for Kimberly, I think. I've been reading about Mississippi and how they went from last in the country to 9th in reading by using phonics, which I thought that's how I was taught. And is that how we're teaching, or is that something that has been gone away from?
Yes, no, we have CKLA, which is a curriculum that has both knowledge and skills. And the skills that you're talking about are those phonetic awareness and the ability to break apart words and like you're talking about with phonics.
Okay. That's encouraging. That's the only question I had.
Oh, sure. And just to add to Kimberly's response, so there was legislation passed last year related to the science of reading, and then there's another bill. So I think the state as a whole is moving more towards that phonetic, more structured style of teaching reading.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. So the last one I will point out, is if you go all the way down in the performance framework to the finance section. So there's a few changes in here. They are going to be paying attention to enrollment variance. That's 4E. So just making sure that your school doesn't overproject its enrollment anyway, but just making sure that you're staying within, that you're not overprojecting, I guess is just the easiest, most blunt way to say it. To just make sure that schools are not overprojecting their enrollment. And then I'll go up one to 4D. Fiscal oversight is the only indicator that specifically tasks the governing board with something. And so again, this is stuff that your board or your finance committee, I am sure, does every month or quarterly or annually. For example, maintaining and adopting financial related policies. I know Katie has all the policies, and so I'm sure that when, there's something that comes up that's new that needs to be changed, she's presenting that to you and it's being adopted by your board. That you're reviewing all the reports and statements. I've gone back and forth with CSD about this one a little bit because a lot of this work is honestly done in your finance committee. And then your finance committee is giving an overview of what's happening, right, to the rest of the board, but you're not necessarily going, and now we're talking about net position, and now we're talking about, this and that. And so the CSD is trying to figure out, are they going to have boards sign another assurance that say that you do this? It's very unclear right now, but these are the things that they are wanting to ensure that your board or your finance committee are doing regularly. Are there any questions on this piece?
I don't have any questions.
No.
Okie dokie. So I think that's pretty much all of the things, unless there's anything specific you'd like me to ask me about the performance framework. Kimberly's already gone over, some of the changes and edits that we've made to kind of fine tune your ed program. And you have a really great mission goal for this contract term, and so on and so forth. The last thing is I will just ask that you approve or move to adopt this or approve this assurance document. And once that's done, I can route it to the board chair for signature in Adobe and we can submit it to the PEC. Just to say that you have looked at you are aware that these documents exist and that you have gone over them.
We have a motion to accept the annual compliance requirements in the performance framework 3C compliance checklist.
I'll second.
All in favor? Yes.
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 Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we've got 4E, discussion potential action to vote to accept the New Mexico Public Education Commission Performance Framework Indicator 3C compliance assurance document.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Cool. No old business, and we've got executive session on there, so we'll need a motion to enter into executive session. And if we'd like to have Dan Hill in there as well.
I'll make a motion to enter executive session and invite Kimberly and Dan.
I'll second.
Cool. All in favor? Yes.
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 Aye.
Be recorded. Okay, no votes or action items were taken during executive session. Move on to closing business. Any announcements?
Nope.
The next meeting falls on a holiday.
Falls on President's.
Yeah.
I think there is one announcement. I think Jenny's working on it. And I think we'll send out flyers to the school, but they're doing like the kids Mardi Gras ball. And Jenny's helping with that. They reached out to her because she does the Halloween carnival. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
on getting the kids Mardi Gras ball with like games and cool stuff. It's sponsored by GM Emulsions. And we're gonna have flyers coming out for that.
Nice.
That's all.
Do you know the date?
No.
Okay,
Lisa's supposed
okay,
Did she?
perfect.
to- So I think it's on there.
And then do we want to move that next meeting? That would also be Mardi Gras, so we'd probably.
Yeah.
Oh, well. regardless.
Doesn't matter to me.
We can do another day that week. We can bump it back to the 23rd. What do you guys feel like?
Yeah, 23rd works.
23rd,
Yeah, 23rd.
1 week later.
Monday.
But no, cool. So we'll meet on the 23rd. Anything else? We'll adjourn at 6:16 p.m.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your patience with me. I'll get the time right this next time. Thanks, Kimberly.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.